Nothing's not right in the universe.
That was easy.
Hello, Good Life Travelers. We're a little bit late today, 15 minutes because of technical difficulties, but Chrissy, our associate executive producer, whose love for the show made her run and get her phone, is working.
Phone that works is
and
mine.
we look great. Actually, your phone makes us look thinner, too.
Yay!
So thank you, Chrissy, for making sure today's show happened.
Hey, do what I can do.
So welcome, everyone, to another episode of Travel Talk Tuesday. This show was meant to be today since we had so many difficulties and we overcame them. We have the full team today, ladies. You doing good?
Yes.
We won't do too much fluff at the front end just because there's some food here, there's some things we got to talk about, and we just wasted 15 minutes trying to get Facebook to work. So just a couple quick things, ladies. I know Tamara has some upcoming training that you were going to share.
Oh, am I? You didn't tell me I was going to talk
No
about
one,
this.
no one reads the agendas that I pour my life into.
No, that
It feels like a full moon.
It feels full moon.
I've got a couple coming up. Puerto Rico. Which
Puerto Rico.
I'm very excited about that. Discover Puerto Rico invited me to come down for a fam, and you may not know this, but Cleveland is about to get a direct flight to San Juan, Puerto Rico. And you do not need a passport if you're a U.S. citizen to go to Puerto Rico. So I've been to Puerto Rico a couple times.
Yes.
You guys have been there too.
Love it. I feel
Yeah,
like we're a little off. I'm just gonna fix this. Keep talking.
It's a hidden gem. I think that a lot of people don't put on their radar because they think it's in the Caribbean, so you need a passport and it'll take a half a day to get there or a whole day. But I'm kind of excited to learn more about go in depth in Puerto Rico.
It's so easy to travel there too because the money, the cell phones,
It's easy to drive
the
there
time.
too.
Yeah, we rented a car.
The highway.
Very
everything
easy.
It's a U.S. territory,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
I'm using my
Geography.
geography.
Our queen geography
I've been
expert.
studying.
But it is in the Caribbean, and there's wonderful old San Juan is a great historic town.
Bars.
Yeah, bars, shops, restaurants.
Yeah.
Walkable.
Beaches are nearby.
Fake purses when the cruises come in.
We spent
A lot of time looking for
Wait
fake
for Chrissy's
purses.
Let's not go there. It was very frustrating for common sense.
we also had a couple of cocktails.
Yes.
It's a great place to go. So I'm excited about that. And I'm going to Italy too. Which
Ooh la la. Oh no, that's French.
that
Mamma mia.
that trip is coming along nicely. It's a fam too, but I'm gonna do some other things before and after. So digging in to research these areas so that I can help my clients.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Chrissy, I don't think you don't have any.
No, but you need to go somewhere.
I do. I am going. Yeah. Well, we're going to Colorado for Thanksgiving so far, but that's it. But I do have some. I won some free rooms to a Valentin in Cancun.
Ooh.
So I don't know. Yeah. And I could pop around there. And Valentin is a very highly reviewed little, pretty nice place. And I wouldn't mind visiting there.
Well, we were going to surprise you with a trip today,
we
Chrissy. There is a National Geography Conference in Alaska, February 2024.
Is it really?
So we signed you up. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Now,
Better
part of
start
the
studying.
experience is building your own igloo. That's a part of
yeah.
studying the cooler geography locations. And we thought it was right up your alley.
No, that's right when I need
She
some.
does music,
Yes,
pop culture.
yeah.
She's our girl.
You need somebody for pop culture
Yeah,
music.
that's
Name that
Chrissy.
tune at a
Yeah.
trivia contest. I'm your girl.
We used to play trivia
Yeah.
every Thursday, and we did really well because we had a
Yeah,
nice
nice-
combo
yes.
of knowledge.
Yeah.
So
I always felt dumb because I didn't know any of that stuff.
we didn't want to talk about you, but
All right, so that'll be good. I don't think I've got a comp. Well, what is it? Cruise World coming up at the beginning of November.
aren't you a star delegate?
Yeah, I'm in the STAR program again, so that we get in October. We have a week-long training where there's round tables and what was that?
Fancy.
That's right. Exclusive round tables, one-on-ones, a lot of good stuff. Yeah. So I'll be out of the office those afternoons.
They say we go so you know. Like, these are vacations for us. They are.
Oh, you see the schedule.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to go to the free cocktail party the one night because I had another event I have to
I
do.
do make it as much of a vacation as I can.
Yeah, I know you do.
We know.
You get the bills.
Still looking for some of those pictures. Okay, so we're gonna skip what I had small talk, but we're gonna skip that just because of the whole thing.
Yes, the debacle of the morning.
Yes, it's been a rough morning with Wi-Fi was down a little bit. It's just I think someone said, is there a full moon? I don't think there is, but like it's acting like it's a full moon.
Yeah. And we have a lot going on.
Yes, my mind is really not here.
It's always kind of like it's Chrissy. We
What's
can
the
watch
difference?
back episodes and prove that
there's
your
a
mind
little-
was not here.
Did you know there's a little black squirrel that lives out here? He's so cute.
Before we hit play live every time, I give Chrissy a little talk like, Chrissy, let's
staring out the
focus at the
window."
camera, not outside and everything else.
Oh, well, there's a lot going on out there in the big world.
A lot going on here in the travel world, okay? So I thought today we would, all right, so I think I might have brought this up. My mom said this show has basically moved from travel talk to food talk.
Take offense to that.
And I think we do a good job of merging both.
Yeah.
So today we're going to do the basics of Food 101 because food is so important to a lot of travelers. Well, I think it's
Obviously
important.
us.
I'm not going to say it.
Ain't no skinny shots going here.
So we want to make sure we're nourished. And so food is important. So I thought we would talk about food today just in a general sense in each of our niches. When you book a trip with each of us, what can you expect on food? I thought we could go in a more specific too about foodies because that's a growing area. I like to claim myself as a foodie, obviously. We could talk about the foodies, just food in general. Plus, Tamara has some snacks. So what? All right. So
Snacky
you want to start with that one?
Yeah, we forgot to do these when
We ran out of time last
the
week.
France thing, but there's a couple interspersed these for our conversation today. So these are called calissons. They're from the southern part of France. I got these in Aix-en-Provence, and they are a candy that is made of melon and almonds with like a icing on the top.
So it looks like a jelly kind of thing with icing. That might be good.
They are good. The box is getting very empty.
The box is not down in the office either.
I brought these home for my kids.
Oh yeah,
I did.
They don't live here, but
Yeah, they've been here. One of them took a little baggie of these home.
Okay, so is it good?
That's okay.
So while we start
the
this,
melon.
I've got a first question for you ladies.
It's not very sweet.
Oh.
More almondy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
more almondy.
you like almond stuff.
I do.
Okay, so we all know food is important to all of us, especially when travel. I think food is a big part of travel for a lot of people. What can you tell us about the new group of travelers that now call themselves foodies? So people that really like food, they're looking at when they travel. What do you think about foodies?
What do I think about them?
Yeah, tell us about that niche.
Well, I think that niche has grown a lot because of television. There's been personalities like Anthony Bourdain who really did a great job of connecting cultural food habits and food interests with travel. And I've really seen an explosion of Americans in particular really wanting to know more about food as they travel. And it's a really important part. You can learn a lot about a culture through the foods that they eat and how they prepare it, when they eat it. There's special things that they eat for holidays. And there's just so much to knowing a culture through food.
Well, I think it speaks a lot to the way of life, especially in Italy, because like their whole food thing. I just say that because I've been there so many times, but like I eat like an old person. Like I like to eat at 11 in the morning, 4 o'clock, and then snacks. Not good.
Early bird.
But like in Italy, they do it completely differently. They eat everything's later, and then like the meal at dinner is like a whole. Like instead of watching TV, hanging out like we do, like that's their evening. At 7 or 8 o'clock at night, they're opening the first bottle of wine and having a big meal. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock at night. Like I'm in PJs ready to go to bed.
We were on a Greek island once. I was with my kids, and we went out to have dinner like 7 o'clock, which that's kind of late for Americans. And nothing was open. And we went back to our hotel, and I asked the owner, is there a restaurant open anywhere? And he's like, darling, you're in Europe. We don't eat until later. Go out at 9 o'clock. So we did, and everything was open.
Wow.
It was like night and day.
Don't they get heartburn then? You eat and then go to bed?
I know, it'd be like
just-
a rock there.
No, that's not how they do it. In Spain too, like they eat literally like 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. They start dinner, which is so late. But then they have a nap in the middle of the afternoon. So I don't know which is better.
Yeah, so if you're a foodie, I think you're open to going at 9 o'clock at night. I think because you want to experience that full thing, you know. How do you treat? All right, so a client comes to you and they're a self-proclaimed foodie, and they want you to plan a trip. Like, how do you help curate a trip for a foodie? What are you looking for? What's important to you when you're doing those trips?
I have tons of connections to places and people that can help them. They can learn how to make something. We can get them in a special restaurant, or we can at least try. We can send them on a tour, a food tour that focuses on a specific neighborhood or ingredient.
Some of my favorite excursions are food ones.
There's all sorts of ways to approach it. Because really, food is a really big part of understanding a place.
Chrissy, I mean, are there resorts that you tend to lean towards that are more foodie oriented, or that are better than others for food then?
Yes, because I think all-inclusives typically are not known for good food. I mean, it's just their reputation. But I think that's changing. I think they're offering a lot more options, elevated restaurant experiences. So, I will do the research to find out which ones, because there are certain ones that have amazing food and amazing chefs. And we just do that based on what you're looking for food-wise. Because there are some people that it's not that important to. They're going to go there and they're going to have the buffet and
be fine.
Yeah, but there are a lot of options. And then when you can always go preferred or a diamond club, which gives you more access to maybe restaurants that only club level can eat at. And you can also add, as you know, things like lobster tails and certain cuts of meat for an extra charge. But there are plenty of all-inclusives these days that are more food-oriented than they have been in the past.
Well, everyone's a foodie now. Everyone wants that. I mean, like 3/4 of people I talk to, they say in their, in the conversation or text or email, I'm a foodie, so food's important. So it's like, well,
we're more sophisticated now, I think, in our food habits, and we know more because of television.
Yeah.
Think about how we have a whole station.
The Food Network.
Yeah.
Well, and cooking channel too, I think. Isn't there still a cooking channel out there?
Yeah. There's a channel. I have YouTube TV. There's a whole channel that's dedicated to international food. So there's a series on making bread in Europe that I love. But there's
it's a fun Saturday for Tampa, making bread in Europe.
Or pubs or something like that. There's a lady from Ireland that does a cooking show. So we know more and we expect more when we travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned that the all-inclusives have that reputation for not being always great and I think there are some. I think it's almost like what you pay for.
Exactly.
If you're going to go for a budget resort, it's probably not going to have.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been to some of those budget ones, and the food is not something to write home about. But
if you
you're
have
paying that cheap, that's what you're looking for.
Right. If you have kids that just want to get away for a few days in the sun and they like pizza and chicken fingers and tacos, then
you're fine.
You look for that. But don't think that the other doesn't exist, because it does.
Yeah, because the one my family went to, they had specialty restaurants like a lot of them do, and one of them, the steakhouse. I mean, it was just as good as a regular steakhouse in the States. I mean, we had dinner there 3 or 4 of the nights. I mean, it was a good. Each cut of meat was good, and they did different kind. Yeah, it was really elevated. I mean, it was worth it.
Yeah.
And no extra fee for that one. So I that's good.
Oh, good.
Any areas that foodies should avoid? Is there anything that you'd say I'm not gonna put a food probably in one of those budget ones if they're really that important to food?
No, because that's more of like I said, kids that just want to go. They want to have a little party. They want to eat the pizza and the stuff they're used to, and the buffet, which is easy. So yeah.
I try to stay away from things that have been Americanized or Westernized. So if you're in Asia and you want that experience of Asian food, I don't want to put you in a hotel that's really I'll look at the menus and see do they have food of that area, or are they going to serve you burgers and pizza and American things? But for some people that's comfortable. I mean, I will be the first to admit that sometimes I just want a cheeseburger and I'll order it from room service.
Yeah.
But having the culture experience is not important to me at that moment. I'll go out on the town and get that. So
it's interesting you bring that up, because at the Hilton, I thought it was going to be all Americanized in Tokyo, and it was evenly split. So now the specialty restaurants and the resort, each one, it was all there was an Italian one, there's a couple, a Japanese one, a Chinese. So those were kind of unique to whatever nationality food. But the buffet, the breakfast buffet, was literally maybe a third Americanized. They had an omelet station, although they made the omelets like they do in Japan, which was really good.
Different.
I really liked it. It's a little less cooked in the middle, but it's good. And then 2/3 was all Japanese stuff. So a ramen, I couldn't get myself up to having ramen or udon noodles at breakfast, but everyone else was.
Breakfast buffets are very interesting.
And a lot of weird pickled vegetables. That was the Japanese way.
What I've noticed too in the Caribbean and Mexico is a lot of lunch meats and cheeses.
That's the European way.
Yeah.
They eat all that weird stuff.
Probably,
Yeah.
So you go to Waffle Station, but then you can also have a ham sandwich if you want. It's just weird.
I can never get.
You can always tell an
used to
American.
that. We're like, where's the bacon?
Yeah, we went and bacon's different around the world too.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, even like the omelet station, like the first day, like I had a bacon and cheese. Like the next day, I was like, listen, you need to load the cheese. They don't put a lot of cheese in this. Yeah. I was like, more.
Did they roll the omelet instead of fold it? Yeah.
It's a different. Yeah, it was really good though.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. We talked about foodies there. Anything else on foodies you want to say specifically?
No, but if you're a foodie, we can connect you to like homework too. There's some great. I just finished a series about food in Spain. It's Jose Alvarez, I think is his name, who's a chef.
I've heard of him.
And he's on CNN. There's a series on CNN, and he took his 3 daughters around Spain. And gosh, you learn so much about the culture just by watching the food part of that culture. So we can help you out with all that.
Yeah, and I was just thinking. I guess wine would probably, drinks would fall on this, but we could probably do a separate show on that because even like wines, there's whole trips on that, and cruises and stuff. So, but we'll leave that to another episode. But I mean, people are into that food and wine. I mean, that's really,
What's the place that eats the egg that has like a duck in it? Have you seen that?
It's in Asia, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
That I don't get.
Yeah.
That I'm not. Yeah. I don't know what made me.
They don't get us either. Sometimes, like cheese, like they're like you're eating rotten milk. Really,
I guess
we can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's different. Yeah, everything's different. All right, so let's get down to the basics of food. Okay, so all of our type strips look different, obviously. So what can a traveler expect food-wise if they're booking an all-inclusive? What's included? What's not when it comes to food? Give us the food basics and an all-inclusive, overarching.
Okay, so basically at an all-inclusive, you're going to have your buffet. The buffet's usually open breakfast and lunch, and then you'll have what they call a la carte restaurants in the evening. So you usually have choices, as you mentioned. There could be an Italian, there can be an Asian, there would be a steakhouse, seafood, and then usually a something Caribbean or Mexican from the area that you're staying in. Now, at an all-inclusive, these a la carte restaurants are all included. That's still included. Some require reservations. They're kind of leaning away from that now. Some have some dress codes that you have to worry about. And not worry about, I mean. And it seems to me, even the ones that do have the dress code, they're not really enforced. They just don't want you like in a tank top and flip-flops going to a nice restaurant. But all of those are included. And if you had too long of a day in the sun, I'm just saying, I might know a friend who's done that. You can order the room service, and then that's included as well. So.
You love your late night quesadilla.
Isn't there a all-inclusive brand? Is it Secrets where they have like a box?
Yes.
And they'll put a box that has a door on the outside
never have to
and
see
the
anybody.
inside. Yeah. So if you order room service, they can put your food in the box and ring the doorbell and then
there's
you
a
can
little
open
bell.
it.
I think our Majestic had that too.
Yeah. There's a little bell.
It's
You
very
open it,
private.
and your food is right there. So yeah.
You don't even have to see anybody.
No. And also, again, if you upgrade to a preferred or a diamond club, all the all-inclusives usually have an elite level that gets you a little bit more, maybe a better room location, a private beach area for club members, maybe a different pool. They also have some restaurants that might be open for breakfast for you and not the buffet, as well as a specialty restaurant perhaps that's for preferred guests only. So.
We're going to jump to cruises next because there's a lot of similarities when it comes to what's included and what's not. Now, I'm going to put this asterisk in the front end because every cruise line's different and they're all changing, it feels like, weekly on what's included and what's not. Bare bones basic, all the cruise lines are going to have the buffet. Some do it better than others. Some are very basic buffets. Some do, I like when they have preparation stations right there, so like you can pick your pasta that's fresh or a stir fry or something that they're actually, they call it like a show stop or whatever the heck it is.
That confused me at first.
Yeah, but I appreciate that because it's going to be fresh and it's usually they're like one of them had I don't usually get sandwiches on boards, but they had like a sandwich station panini thing, so you could pick your kind of bread and all your and that was I actually had that. It was very tasty. So those food show stations, whatever you want to call it, that's going to be basic. All the cruise lines have a main dining room. Some have one, like big one. Some of the newer ones are starting to go to like a couple small dining rooms. So restaurants are going to represent the main dining room. But that's going to be a main dining that's going to be included for everyone. They're going to have a variety of menu items. A lot of them will have rotating specialty each night. But a lot of them will also have the standards. So for picky eaters, most of them will have like a chicken, a steak, and maybe a piece of salmon. And even if they don't have it on a menu, for picky eaters, a lot of times they'll do that for them, like those 3 basic things, because there's always picky people, it seems like. So, and I'm one, so, but, you know.
No.
They'll have rotating menu. So a lot of the cruise ships, most cruise ships will have usually like a coffee stand that'll have like grab and go desserts, treats like that. A lot of the big ships will also have other grab and go kind of things. So this is the new thing, is these food courts. You know, I think the galley's the one you guys are most familiar with on Virgin. But a lot of the cruise lines are having either like grab and go kind of things, food halls like in Europe, the food halls, or like food trucks. Like some of the cruise ships are even building what looks like a food truck, you know, as a stop to grab and go food. Yeah, so that's like a big thing, those grab and go. So a lot of them are adding that, and that's typically all included. Whether it's a grill, kind of burgers, sandwiches, hot dogs kind of stuff, or a lot of them are having the specialty ones, like a Mexican place that's big on cruise lines, grab and go Mexican kind of food, pizza, grab and go, like all those kind of things. And all inclusive in a cruise, you're never gonna go hungry, is what I tell people. Be prepared to gain some weight. So that's always included. Where you get different on the cruise lines is some have different levels of specialty dining where you're gonna have to pay for that. A lot of the ships have gone away from free room service. Now there's a fee for most of them now. So that's a little different, and that's evolving constantly and weekly, it seems like. So it's just kind of different what you're looking for. And I'll go into greater detail later on about options on specialty dining, which every cruise line is so different, so it's hard to kind of cover everything. But that's what we're looking at for cruises and all-inclusives.
But I think the key here is, too, is we can read through all that and help people.
Yeah.
I mean, from talking to you and figuring out what you're interested in, what food you like, and then...
Yeah, if you
Because
really
it could
don't
be overwhelming,
care.
I think, if you did it on your own.
Yeah. Well, and like, again, we talked about Travelfies last week. I think that's helpful because that's where we can tell you, you know, here's where you look for what's included. Here's where, because it can be overwhelming what's included, what's not.
Right.
Especially when you pay $4,000 or $5,000 for a trip, you know, what am I getting for that? So that's where we're here to kind of help that. I thought we'd jump next to amusement parks. What about amusement parks? There's probably nothing included in that.
No. Well,
Someone's going to Disney or Dollywood or...
You can get a dining package at some amusement parks, including Disney. They're bringing it back. I think the key takeaway from that is planning in advance. And I hate to say that, but if you want to sit down at a restaurant at Disney World, you really have to make reservations in advance now. And that cannot be fun. It can't be very spontaneous. If you want like a character breakfast, you have to... You have to like
be on the minute those reservations are open.
Universal's like that too, like the City Walk. Because like I tried to go to the Chocolate Emporium, sold out. A couple of other places in City Walk I tried to get into, I couldn't get reservations, and because they sold out, you know,
What's it, 3 months? 90 days?
90 or 60 days, depending on what.
For Disney or Universal?
It depends.
I think both.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, people are up first thing in the morning, and once that 60th day gets there and booking.
Yeah, it's hard.
But I have to say, you can really get by on all the snacks. I mean, I think Disney World, I'm not talking about meals, but let's talk about Disney World snacks and Mickey heads and the popcorn and the churros and the bakery items.
We just won't share that with the nutritionist on staff because
but I mean, I'm all about the snacks and the, you know, the fun things.
Yeah, I've noticed like lines are super long, have been super long at Disney, and that's not my Disney that I'm used to. They're getting better, but they've had a challenge. One of the things I do love about Disney, though, is you can do mobile ordering at a lot of counter service restaurants now. So if you're in line for a ride and you know you want to eat afterwards and you think you're going to be done in a half an hour, you can put in a mobile order, and then I think you can click like start my order once you're off the ride, and then you just walk up to the counter and pick it up. You don't have to wait in line. I do like that a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
But there is a whole art to eating at amusement parks. In fact, there's a whole Disney food blog, and I mean their festivals are worthy of a.
That's what I was saying. We have to at least make a passing reference, like food and wine, you know, that stuff.
Yeah.
And even like Universal's food ones, like their big Mardi Gras one has some great food too.
Amusement parks can be fun for foodies too.
They're up in their game. Even like Cedar Point Town here, like they have like a little food festival, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Frontier, something.
Yeah, Frontier Festival.
Yeah. And some like the picture, it looks like legit food. Like it's like
it can be expensive. If you have a family, one of the tricks we used to do is we used to stop at a grocery store on our way to Disney, and then we usually had an accommodation that had a refrigerator or even a stove. and we would make breakfast in our room because that's pretty standard. And if you go to a very expensive buffet, you're gonna get basically the same things you can make at home, minus
Except
the
for
Mickey
Mickey
waffles, yeah, which I love Mickey waffles. But
It's basically
way
just
to
a
save
waffle
money.
in a different
But it's
shape.
oh, they're
Mickey.
good. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
some places have vanilla syrup. That's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so let's look at Tamra's. I feel like yours could be everywhere
should
because.
we open one of those things?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we don't.
Well,
I don't want to go for another.
Well, I'll open it and
Okay.
start scooping it while you talk because I think yours is this is complicated.
It is
Because
complicated.
Tamra, I feel like yours are everywhere because like there's some of your stuff has all the meals. Most of them, like if it's a tour, feels like it has certain meals.
Yeah.
But then when you do your fully customized, there's like no meals. So like,
Yeah, so I'm gonna break it down by the type, by the way you tour. So
and let me watch this first one we're gonna do is the vanilla rum crepe.
these are from France, and I forgot
Is
to
it a liquid?
bust them out
France.
when
I don't know. It looks a little scary, but
yeah,
What
it's a
is
crepe
it?
and rum.
It's a crepe and rum.
Vanilla, maybe. I
yeah,
don't know.
vanilla rum.
Yeah, they were very popular when I was there. in the
So this
south
is
of
probably
France.
not included in any of your packages.
No, no. So, so if you're going to do a guided like motor coach tour with a group of, let's say, 20 to 40 people, you're going to have breakfast included, and you're going to have some additional meals included as well. Sometimes it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sometimes it's just breakfast and dinner. But I would suggest we work on finding a tour that gives you some meals included, but not all meals included, because you're going to want to go experience local food. So,
Like you're not gonna get this in those buffets.
no, and you want to have.
Oh, is that rummy?
Is it?
Yes.
I think it's soaked in rum.
Gonna want to have that local experience, but it is comforting to know that you don't have to think about food really. It's just going to be there for you. You may not get the fully immersive cultural experience, but it's easy. And if you're not a foodie, great, easy way to go. The second way, which I would call like an independent tourist, where we put together a package and you're really on your own, but we're kind of, you're doing excursions and activities that have a little bit of guidance. How are they?
It's very rum form, but it's very good. I mean, I like crepes, so. Here.
Chrissy looks tentative. I don't want to eat one right now. I'll
I
have
am
one afterwards.
tentative.
Yeah, when I'm done talking.
I mean, it's a lot of rum.
Well, yum.
Right.
So when you're an independent tourist, we can be a little more flexible. You're going to be on your own. You're going to have choices. Sometimes that can be overwhelming. If you don't speak the language, you need to look for a place that either has an English menu, which those usually aren't the best places to go, or you need to know a few words in advance. So if you like chicken, you need to know that's poulet in French or pollo in Spanish.
Or oof is egg.
Oof is egg in French. Yeah, you just need to know a couple of those words so that you can actually interpret a menu, or you need to find a place where they will help you kind of pick through that menu. But you're not going to get the full experience if you're doing it on your own, but you'll be fine. Then the third way I would send people is with like a guide, a fully guided on your own independent touring, where you have basically a host that's ushering you through a country.
I feel like that's the least stress and probably the easiest way.
Yeah, it is.
I found the best places.
Yeah.
How crazy expensive is that, Tamara?
It totally depends on where you're going.
Okay. Because I would like to travel
it
that
could be
way.
expensive. Yeah, to me, it's the best way to go, and you learn the most, and you get the best experience. So when I was in Thailand, I had a guide with me the whole time that I wasn't with my conference. Best experience ever. We went to markets. She explained, or he or she, I had to, explained everything to me. I had vegetables and fruits I'd never seen before, and I got to try them, and we just kind of picked our way through tasting, and yeah, it was great.
Wait, while we're talking about tasting, this is a rum vanilla baba. Baba? It almost looks like
It's
a
like
rum
little
cake.
Yeah, it's a little
Like
cake.
a little rum cake that we're going to taste next.
This is yours, I think.
No, that's yours. I ate my whole thing.
Oh, I thought I left mine on my fork.
No.
Okay.
I took the fork off because I had to scoop
Oh,
the thing.
what is
I've been
this?
very careful to make sure it's yours.
What is
Baba?
this?
A baba.
It's a little rum cake. It's like a little cake soaked in rum.
Oh,
A lot of rum.
I got work to do.
So having that guide, they really help you understand and learn and go to the places that are kind of off the beaten path, that are more local.
I feel like we can do all that. That's the way to go, I
touristy.
think.
I agree. I completely agree. And if you're an independent tourer and you want just a little bit of that, I often find a food tour that can give you kind of the lay of the land, and you have somebody you can ask questions to before you head off on your own.
Did you taste yours?
Not yet. Do you want more? Okay.
Too rummy? Oh my gosh, I never thought I'd hear you say that.
She doesn't drink rum that much. She drinks every other kind of alcohol.
It's early in the morning and it's a Tuesday. I'm a good girl.
Yeah, and speaking of alcohol,
Oh, he just whole shotted it.
Oh, it's strong. Oh, it's like a shot.
I know.
And the shot you just swallow. You can't because this is like.
oh, this might be bad.
I got chills.
So with alcohol too, if you're interested in wine, we can connect you with a sommelier or somebody who can take you to those private, exclusive places.
So that's real rum? Like you just buy like
Kristen, that's real rum.
They live the good life in France.
boy, do they. Is that a breakfast item?
No, it's a dessert. There's one more.
Is it soaked in rum too?
Yeah, I don't know.
The other one is only 2 in a thing, so I think we should save that for
okay.
another time.
So that is
Wait,
a
they
little
know
bit
how
of
to
living
have
the
fun.
good life in France. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it probably, again, it's what people need or what they're looking for the trip and how experienced. Some people want to live on the wild side and just go do their own thing and try their luck at restaurants.
And really, I think we wanted me to mention this too, that we try to prepare you before you go. So if you're going to be an independent tourist, which a lot of people do, we're going to have a conversation about how you ask for the bill, because in a lot of cultures, they won't bring you the bill until you ask for it. Yeah. And we teach you like what that word is to ask for. That you can sit like in many European countries, you can sit as long as you want, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, if that's what you do, and just watching people go by. They're not going to bring you, they're not going to rush you like we do here. You're not going to go and be in and out in 45 minutes to an hour. No, you're not worried about turning tables over. You have to actually ask for the bill. Same with tipping. We talk about tipping. Yeah. So, and once you've been there a couple times, it gets a little easier because you're not so scared. But the first couple times I went,
you feel bad without leaving a tip.
I
You don't tip in Japan. I was like, oh, I always hate this. I feel awkward.
Well, just ordering food, you go to your safe places. I remember ordering pizza in France, and I'm thinking, and I ordered it, and I'm thinking, why didn't I like push myself a little bit to learn something different?
Yeah.
So next time I did. So.
I'll say this. I always thought it was weird in America at the Chinese restaurants. They had the pictures of the food. I'm like, this is so weird. And like in Italy, you're not supposed to go to places that have pictures of the food because that's more touristy traps. But in Japan, like you had the pictures and it was very helpful.
Yeah,
I bet.
I was like, ooh, I don't know. That looks like something I don't want to eat.
I do want to say too, in many places, Europe, Asia, the quality of the food is a lot better than what we're used to here. Like, we eat a lot of things that are processed or full of preservatives or enhanced or modified. They don't do that in other countries because they live differently. So you don't go grocery shopping for a week. You go to your local market and you buy things for a day or two. So you're constantly having fresh fruits, vegetables, and meat.
Or not even that much meat.
No.
A lot of them don't eat that much.
No. And you go to... they have some giant grocery stores, but they're not like everywhere like here. You really go to a specialized retailer. So you go to a fromagerie for cheese or a special cheese store in some area or a butcher for your meat.
It's like the old days in the U.S.
That's
how it used
really
to be
is.
here, right?
And I love European lunches in particular because, and you'll see when you go, you'll see beautiful stores, restaurants with these gorgeous sandwiches that I wish we had them here. Like you'll have like roasted chicken and spinach and egg and some other vegetables on a beautiful baguette that just looks healthy and good. And we don't have those things here. And I wish we did. In Asian countries, well, you know this too, very veggie forward. And they are geniuses at using spices, and the way they prepare things is different, and they're really good.
The only thing I had a hard time with in Italy, like, and I guess in Europe, general sense, like, I'm used to an American steak. So, like, one of the places, like, the last night we went and treated ourselves to an expensive steak. Not good.
No.
Because you're not used to their steak is just different than ours because it's not, like, pumped with stuff, you know?
It's not pumped with stuff.
So I'm sure it's good, like, in and of itself, but it's hard if you're used to coming from the American steaks, the big ribeye, and then to get the ribeye there, and you're like, where's the rest of it? And it's not good tasting, you know, because
Yeah.
it's a different taste. You're used to it.
Yeah, some places I think are better. Like South America probably has much better steaks than we do here. I noticed in Europe when you order a steak, you have to, like I order my steaks medium here. If I ordered it medium in Europe, it's going to come out pretty raw. You have to really order it well done if you want a medium. And even then, it still comes out kind of raw. Yeah, I tend to eat around the edges of my steak in Europe because they just don't prepare it the way we do.
Well, they don't do a lot of steaks. I mean, they're
No.
not, yeah.
No.
It's different than us.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I think this is an interesting one. Are there ways, and I think Tamara, you dusted on it, and we kind of hinted towards it, ways to elevate a trip, one of your trips, to make it more special for the person who has a foodie inclination? So, Chrissy, if you have a foodie inclination going somewhere, is there anything special you can elevate it? Recommending those restaurants, or like what would you do, or
So I think
experiences?
Yeah, with all inclusives, I think you can do dinners on the beach. You can do a candlelight dinner, a sunset dinner. You can also do a food tour, or like I was thinking of Aruba. You can walk off property and find some nice local areas. But as far as elevating, I mean, you know, you can arrange special, or we can arrange special meals that are more intimate or just a little bit higher level than the restaurants that are on the property.
Like a special dinner on the beach.
Yes,
that
yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say, Chrissy booked a trip for my parents on their anniversary, and whatever restaurant you made for their
Yes.
special meal, they said it's one of the best meals they've ever had in their life.
Yeah. So I mean, so we can look, see what's around.
They wanted somewhere special, and you must have found the restaurant and booked it for them,
right
I
on
guess.
the water. Yeah, it was.
They loved it.
Nice. Yeah. So
They said it was expensive, but they said it was worth every penny. I mean,
well, that's good.
They said it's a real nice treat because they go out a lot, but they don't usually spend that kind of money.
Oh, good. Yeah. So, I mean, I think you don't have to, if it is a special occasion, which it was their anniversary, you don't have to necessarily just, try to do something at the a la cartes or the buffet. There's ways that we can reach out. Sandals is really good with that. They put together some beautiful beach meals for couples and yeah, so there's options.
Cruising, much the same way. There's options with the excursions and stuff. I always try to jump at the food excursions because those are always interesting because you can see the city, but then you also kind of dig deep in the immersion too. But on cruise ships, the big thing is the specialty dining. So that's where every cruise line's different. You're going to go the luxury, ultra luxury brands. Those are all going to be included. So you can dine anywhere on board, and it's going to be a great dinner no matter where you go. You look at the premium, it's going to be a great meal anywhere you go, but they have these even more special places that have even more elevated. So it's going to be like equate to a fancy restaurant in Cleveland or Toledo, and that's going to be their specialty restaurants, and you're going to pay that. So you pay for the cruise, and you're going to pay anywhere from 40 to 75 to even 115 more for that specialty dining, okay? And then you look at the contemporary style cruises, the Carnivals, the Royal Caribbean. They've got a ton of specialty. Norwegians like this too. And they've got a variety of levels of specialty, from the fancy steakhouses to simple kind of like a family style specialty restaurant. So you kind of just look to see, and the prices reflect that. Foodie people are really into the foods. They go on those ships. They'll look for like an Royal calls it their ultimate dining package, and that's where you'll get special dining every night. So if you're really a foodie, I recommend those special dinings are good for you. So you look at a cruise line, it's all included, or you splurge and you get those special meals because that's really going to elevate it. You look at, I know Tamara would yell at me if I didn't bring it up, Virgin Voyages. All their restaurants are all like specialty restaurants for the most part, and those are all included too. So each line's a little different. Each has those special ways to kind of elevate a meal, whether it's a honeymoon, you just want one special night, or whether you want every dinner to be something special and unique. The only other thing I'll point out, a way to elevate it, and this is becoming very popular on all the cruise ships, are the chef's table. I don't know if they do that in all inclusives, do they?
Not that I've come across.
I bet they'll get into it
yeah.
though, because they'll do these meals, and you have to either get it before you get on board or like the first day, because they sell out, and they'll only do so many days of it, and it's usually about 12 to 15 people. You get together, and it's a special curated menu. Some will include the wine pairings with each course. Some you have to pay extra for that. And it's some of the best meals. Everyone, like, I've seen the meals and the menus on Carnival. They look phenomenal. I've seen them on Viking does them. They're phenomenal menus. So, I mean, like, you're going to, no matter what line you're on, if you can do one of these chef's tables, you usually get a little peek in the kitchen, which is always kind of cool. You get to spend a little time with the chef. You get a 7-course meal, great wines. It's if you appreciate food, a special evening, it takes usually about 3 to 4 hours. It's worth it if you really appreciate food. A lot of fun. So good. Tamara, now you've hinted at excursions, and I think I've talked about in the office. Whenever you book a cooking class for one of your people, I get jealous because that's on my list to go all over and just do cooking class everywhere. But that's certainly a big wave for foodies. It
is, yeah, definitely. There are all sorts of really unique possibilities out there for foodies, or even just people who are interested in learning more about how to make pasta or whatever all over the world. And we have all sorts of connections. One of the things I think is really interesting to send clients to do is to have dinner in somebody's home. So a local person's home. Like I'm thinking of Paris. I have a group going on a Viking cruise. We have a group going on a Viking cruise, and I'm doing their pre-stuff, and they're going to have dinner hopefully in a Parisian's home before which will be fun.
What an experience.
It gives you it's a great way to connect to somebody local and really see how they live.
And those stories are the best stories, I think, from the trip. You actually went to someone's home and had dinner. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I see that popping up more and more. The opportunities popping up more and more. You can also have a dinner in a very special place. So like the top of the Eiffel Tower has a Jules Verne. It's a restaurant, very special, very hard to get into, very expensive, a little touristy, but it's an iconic place to have a meal. There's places like that all over the world. And then I would be remiss if I didn't mention Michelin star restaurants. Well, they are all over the world. We have some here, but in other places of the world, I think there are more of them. In fact, I'm thinking of the city of Lyon, France, which I was just in, has a lot of Michelin star restaurants. And you can have 1, 2, or 3 stars. And when you go to a Michelin star restaurant, you're in for an event. So especially if it has multiple stars. You're looking at probably 4 hours of dining, multiple courses. You'll get a special menu. In fact, I had some clients who went to Italy. They were in Naples. They went to a Michelin star restaurant, and they actually brought back the menu signed by the chef and gave it to me as a thank you gift, which I thought was really nice.
We haven't seen this, did we? You should frame that. That'd be a cool one.
It's very cool. But we can help. We connected. I used one of my partners in Europe to connect this family to that chef, and it was a special event for one of the members of their family. She was leaving on a semester at sea, and they wanted to have a bon voyage party for her, just their family. But, we can connect you to those little unique events that make your travel even more meaningful and special.
Yeah, you're making me hungry. This is some good trips. I think, and I was thinking of one other thing when you were talking about that, and it just left my mind. I had a senior moment. Or junior moment. So let's look at the flip side of the coin, and I think I made reference to it. I don't know if you guys are not picky eaters. So how do you deal with help book a trip for people that are picky eaters, the meat and potato people? Like I know people that's all they want, meat and potatoes. So what do you do for that?
Well, I think an all-inclusive is perfect for a picky eater because you have, in fact, I did have somebody ask about their children, can they get chicken fingers? Can they get burgers, fries? So I think that's a nice way because in an all-inclusive with the choices you have, you can make both happy. There are, things available for the picky eater, and then somebody who's a little bit more adventurous can have something they like as well. And I will say about a month ago, I had somebody with 2 vegans. So they wanted, now most of the resorts, if you're there and you're there for dinner and you request something vegan, they can prepare it for you. It may not be, something off a menu, but it would be something that you could eat. But there are restaurants that really cater to vegans and is it celiac, gluten?
All those allergies, food allergies.
Yes, food allergies.
Which is a growing, it's a growing concern.
So there are some that are really stepping up in that respect and have a menu and better choices, so they're actually enjoying their meal in another country rather than just eating something that they put together off on their own.
I'll jump because I think it's the next logical step too. Cruise is very similar in that. So all the cruise lines now are starting to add the little symbols on the menus so that you know what's gluten-free, what's vegan, all that stuff, and I think they're making a big effort to make that food better. Most of the ships now, I mean, when the waiter comes to you, they'll ask, are there any food allergies right off the bat, which is probably the safest thing to do.
Yep.
And they'll have stuff. Amazing, a number of the river cruises, they'll brag about their chef meeting on one of the first days with the person that has food allergies to talk through a possible menu. I really like that because, you know, we eat regular food and there's things we don't like. I mean, what if they're preparing something a vegan doesn't even like? I mean, like, they have to suffer?
Yeah,
I mean,
get sick over.
Yeah, and something they don't even like. So it's like, I like that idea that on some of these, there's small ships and they can customize it, I think. Some cruise lines are really going above and beyond and trying to say they're really friendly for food allergies, like Virgin says that. They probably put it out there the most, that they have the best options for everyone that has intolerance, food intolerance. So, but there's plenty of options, and I think they're very conscious now because it's serious for a lot of people. They get sick. They're very serious about making sure everything's separate too. And I guess, you know, the same thing, this is not for picky, that's not picky eaters, those are people that have medical conditions. People that are like kosher, people that have, based on their religion, whatever food, a lot of the cruise lines are making an effort towards that. It's a little harder with some of them because like kosher food has to be kept separate, the meat and the dairy and all that stuff. But they'll do, I think last year did 2 or 3 cruises that were just 100% kosher. And those sell out quick because they have a rabbi on board, the food's kosher, they know that this specialty dining restaurant, everything's been completely followed rules. I found it very intriguing. And the only other thing I'm going to point out is because I just watched a video on this, and Tamara, you mentioned this video in office yesterday. One of the new ships that Royal Caribbean's putting out has one of their neighborhoods is all family friendly. So like the splash zone's there, all these kids, the carousel, really a family intensive area. They're putting a buffet that they're calling like a family friendly buffet down there. That's going to be like uber directed towards the kids. Then I said adults will find food too, but like I think you're going to find the dinosaur nuggets. You're going to find the mac and cheese, the pizza. I mean, it's going to be like really designed for probably sometimes the pickiest of eaters, the little kids. And I kind of like that idea though, that this is where they've said you could spend the whole day in this neighborhood as a family. Well, we're going to provide you with a free meal that's going to be good and that's going to make everyone happy.
Yeah.
So I liked that idea.
Riverside, the line I was just on, they had a whole hour before we set sail that you could go down and talk to the maitre d' about your food allergies and aversions. So I thought I appreciated that, and I traveled with somebody who has celiac disease before, and I'm always impressed at how the chef will come out and at resorts or restaurants, they'll come out and talk to my friend about what she can and cannot eat. They'll even have special bread for her.
I think the river boats, all of them do the best on that because they're so small.
Yeah.
Like that's the ones from what I hear, the river boats, because it is a tight, you're talking under 200 people, so they really, they make an effort on that.
Yeah.
Tamara, a little bit different in yours because they're going to regular restaurants and stuff. So how do they, like, is there, like,
what's the question?
We're talking about with picky eaters, but also people with food allergies.
Yeah. Okay, so picky eaters. So as I've traveled, I've noticed that all cultures have the same, like pastas is, everybody's got their version of pasta. Everyone's got their version of a dumpling. Everyone's got their version of breaded chicken. So if you're picky and you go to Germany, if you order chicken schnitzel, it's basically like a flat chicken nugget. If
they put gravy on it though.
No, you don't have to have gravy. If you go anywhere, everybody's got a version of a dumpling. So it may be a pierogi and it may be a ravioli, but it's basically a pasta with some sort of filling. So for picky eaters, you can find something to eat everywhere. But I would want to challenge you to kind of go out of your comfort zone a little bit and try something new. I would say I'm kind of a picky eater. I don't like seafood, but I've been places where I've had seafood and I'm like, oh, this is actually really good. I still don't like seafood, but it really surprised me at how good I thought it was. So, and if I am working with you and we're doing something like a private guided, I always give a preference sheet to the guide so they know that you have an allergy or an aversion or you don't like seafood. I have a family that's looking at going to Japan. They don't like seafood. I made sure to let the company know.
Good luck with that. Shoot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, you can work around it. You can
That's
eat
tough.
ramen. You can, eat chicken. Yeah. So we work with that because it really is important. It can make or break your trip. But nobody has ever starved on a trip.
No.
You can always find something.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap up with this. And Tamara, this can be a tough one.
Uh-oh.
I gave you a heads up on this. Some of your destinations, Tamara, have some weird stuff, But some of them have food that if not prepared well, or our stomachs are not made for, because we're not ready for food in some parts of the world. How do you prepare someone that's going somewhere where the food may lead to adverse reactions, or may lead to explosive reactions? You have to, or you pick up when I'm trying to ask people.
You have, as a traveler, okay, there's two ways I would approach this. The safest way is to have a guide who will kind of lead you to the right places to go and what to eat. But as a traveler, you also have a responsibility to watch the cleanliness of a place that you're going to pick to eat, and also how your food's prepared, and know if you can tolerate that or not tolerate that. So you want to make sure meats are cooked all the way through, or at least to a temperature that we consider safe, because we do have really good food standards here in the U.S. Not every country has those foods. Most other countries don't have those same food standards. Food is going to be safe. You can always find safe food wherever you travel, for the most part. But if you're going to go to a night market in Asia, in a place that does not have, it's not food standards aren't really overseen by the government very well, then you probably aren't going to want to order sushi. You're just going to, but maybe you do, and you're just going to take that risk because it may be really good. I've had some of the best food of my life at food stands in kind of off the beaten places.
I feel like it's a gamble.
You really have to pay attention to how it's prepared. Just look and see, are they using gloves? They probably aren't.
There's no little wash. Employees must wash hands in the bathroom either. No signs.
Wash their hands. There probably isn't. Is it cooked all the way through? Okay, yeah, then you can probably eat it. So, but you also want to watch, if you don't handle spices well, then you have to know in certain places you just have to watch that. You have to ask questions. You maybe have to learn a word or two before you go so you can ask the question. But probably the safest way is to have a guide that can help you with that.
Yeah, some of my favorite street food was in South Korea, which, those booths, it was like a gamble. I felt like I took a little bit of my life into my hands.
Yeah, I like that risk, though.
It was good.
Yeah.
And everyone in our group, it was legit.
Yeah.
And it was all locals eating it, so I was like,
Yeah. Their stomachs are a little more hardened than ours. We're really, we're kind of pampered here in a good way sometimes, but our bodies aren't used to those challenges. So you don't want to come home with a parasite, or maybe you do.
Well, I've kind of wanted a tapeworm for a while. Doesn't it help you lose some weight, a tapeworm? Okay. Anything else on food before we wrap this?
No, we could go on and on forever about food.
Definitely getting hungry. So
yeah.
Okay. Anything new in your niches, or any interesting bookings you want to share? Christy's been antsy today because she's working with a large spring break group. Big spring break group. Where are they going? Anywhere fun?
They're going to Punta Cana. A bunch of wonderful parents and their seniors and families, and just going to celebrate before graduation.
So again, this is this the best time, or we're nearing the end where you may not have as many options for spring break?
Yeah, they're close. That's why I'm antsy, because I want to
get
get people in and situated and get their rooms, because there's availability is an issue at some places. So
if you think it's spring break, you want to contact us now, no matter the trip, so that we can make sure we get you the best options, the best prices before everything sells out.
But we just need to do a little work.
Okay. Yeah. Tamara, any interesting bookings or news in your niche?
Lots of interesting bookings. So today is the last day of Oktoberfest in Munich, and I've been getting a lot of notifications on Facebook and pictures and things like that. And I'm kind of sad that I'm not there, but I just wanted to mention.
You were a little down today. I understand why.
I went last year, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I really want to go back again. But if you're thinking about Oktoberfest, the next couple months is the time to start talking to me about getting some hotel rooms secured and things like that, because it's such a wonderful thing to experience.
Everyone says they want to go, and then they either wait till the last minute, or if you're going to do it, now's the time to lock that down.
We're taking a group to Germany in August. Munich will be a stop on our trip. There's so much to see in Bavaria and that part of Germany, and we're actually going to touch into Austria as well. But you don't have, if you don't go with our group, you can go during Oktoberfest time and put that into your itinerary. But I keep seeing all these pictures, and it makes me want to be there.
So I talked about it this morning because I was very excited. I sold an iconic suite on one of the new Celebrity Cruises ships. So I was telling you a little bit about the office. These are nicer than where I live, I can tell you that. It's 2,500 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, massive, gorgeous suite, surround sound. I want to live in this iconic suite. Very excited. I should offer to go carry their bags for them because
there's room for you.
This is like a dream suite, and even if I slept on the couch, I think I'd be fine. So they've got a couple suites going, but this is like where they're gonna, I think, have all the fun in this main suite. They can dine in there if they want, but beautiful. It's right above the bridge. This guy's a big sailor, and I said, you're gonna love the view because you could probably stomp on the thing and tell him to go faster because you got the full bridge of this cruise ship. So it's amazing.
We'll have a great time.
I can't wait to hear about it. And it's all the cruise lines now are starting to do these ship within a ships. You know, they do Rockstar on Virgin. They do the Retreat, the Haven. Everyone has these now. And so this is that area where you can kind of really be pampered, have a special area that's peaceful and quiet that's just for you. But you can also venture off to explore the ship too. So very excited about the iconic suite on Celebrity Apex. So anything I don't want to go into great details, but we mentioned groups, a number of great group opportunities. We've got Germany, we've got Northern Italy, we've got, for the ladies, you're going to Spain. We've got Alaskan cruise, New Year's Eve cruise, we've got spring break cruise, I think a little room. These are great opportunities to lock in great prices, amazing itineraries that have been curated just for these groups. So let us know, and we will give you all the details. So anything else, ladies, you want to add?
Nope. Let's go back to work.
I know.
I feel like we went over, and there's
sure
still a lot of
we
food
did.
here, but we want to thank everyone for watching this week's episode of
you.
Travel Talk Tuesday. Any of these trips sound good? Connect with us. We'll take good care of you, and we hope you have a great day and a great week. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.